On the 5th of May, the Prime Minister was in Ayodhya. He went there for the very first time after the Pran Pratishtha. And today, he was in Kashi. Of course, yesterday, he led a massive roadshow. He did a darshan at Kashi Vishwanath. And then he filed his nomination in the morning today after first going to the temple. But there was a deep symbolism. Of course, the mention of all of these temple towns naturally has an effect on the religious fervor. It touches a chord somewhere. But there was also subtle messaging in the way the proposers for the Prime Minister were chosen. There were 4 major proposers for the Prime Minister, and they were drawn from various communities. Let's tell you who all they were. First, of course, was Baijnath Patel. He has been linked to the RSS for decades now, and he belongs to the Rohania Sevapuri Vidhan Sabha in Varanasi. Then there is Gyaneshwar Shastri. He is the person who took out the muhurt for the Pran Pratishtha, and he's from the Brahmin community. Then you have Lal Chand Kushwaha, who's from Kant Vidhan Sabha Kshetra, and he is from the OBC community. And finally, there was Sanjay Sonkar, who is from the Dalit community, and he comes from the Uttari Vidhan Sabha Kshetra. He's also been associated with the BJP for a very long time. Now, every time there is a phase of polling, the Prime Minister, remember there was the Surya Tilak before the first phase of polling the Prime Minister. There were pictures of him watching it on his iPad. Then he went for a darshan at Ayodhya. There was a massive roadshow that was carried out there as well. And then, of course, he is in Kashi. Is that always a speed breaker or a barrier of sorts that the opposition finds itself facing? Maybe, and that's the reason why Priyanka Gandhi today, when she was in Raebareli Amethi, she said that you cannot always be told to vote for a certain party by being told that aapka dharm sankat mein hai. They make you swear in the name of religion and vote for them, and this is something that you mustn't allow.
उनको ये एहसास हो गया है कि उनको आपसे वोट लेने के लिए काम करने की जरूरत है। चुनाव के समय आएंगे, आपको बता देंगे धर्म संकट में है। आपके घरों में आते हैं, दुर्दुलिया करा देते हैं, कहते हैं कि वचन लो भगवान के नाम कि भाजपा को वोट दोगे। अरे क्यों ले भगवान के नाम वचन कि आप किसी को वोट देंगे? इसका मतलब है कि प्रधानमंत्री खुद ये नहीं कह सकते कि कितने रोजगार दिए, कितनी सड़कें बनाई, इसीलिए फिजूल की बातें करते हैं, आपका ध्यान इधर उधर जाए।
हम मंदिर में चले गए दर्शन के लिए, आशीर्वाद के लिए। बताओ इन्होंने मंदिर धोया कि नहीं धोया? बताओ, ये पता है आपको कि नहीं पता है कि जिस मंदिर में हम गए उस मंदिर को धुलवाया इन्होंने कि नहीं धुलवाया? बताओ, ऐसे लोगों को आप लोग धोगे कि नहीं धोगे? ये चुनाव समुद्र मंथन की तरह है, संविधान मंथन होने जा रहा है। एक तरफ वो लोग हैं जो संविधान बचाना चाहते हैं, दूसरी तरफ वो लोग हैं जो संविधान को बदलना चाहते हैं।
So is there a temple undercurrent? Is it revived every time the Prime Minister goes to Ayodhya, Kashi, Rishikesh? And is this a mere distraction that is a thing of the past and doesn't matter in elections anymore, as the Samajwadi Party and the Congress claim? Sanju Verma, Varun Singh and Neerja Chaudhary continue with us. We are joined by Tariq Khan, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, and the first question is to Lokesh Jindal, political analyst. Prime Minister was in Ayodhya earlier and today he was in Kashi. Again and again, Mr. Gandhi kept saying that there's no space for backwards, for Dalits in the entire temple movement. The Prime Minister, for his proposals today in Varanasi, had 2 OBCs, 1 Brahmin and 1 Dalit. Lokesh Jindal.
Well, the Prime Minister needs these proposals in order to validate himself that he is indeed a leader for those who are marginalized and the downtrodden. I mean, had he been clear with his work, had he done enough so that he would have reached out to them, he would have not required such proposals and such form of symbolism. Padmaja, the message is very clear. Presently, the BJP is facing a tremendous challenge in the form of fear amongst the opposition that when BJP comes to power, it will do away with all forms of reservation. And there is a significant fear in the opposition, especially amongst the Dalits, the OBCs, that BJP is hell-bent upon promoting or sidelining their issues and promoting religion, superimposing on their social and economic aspects. And that is one of the major reasons why BJP is harping upon religion as an agenda and is trying to have symbolism via these proposals. Presently, BJP is facing a strong undercurrent.
Okay.
What
so
BJP
when in
did
doubt,
was
symbolism. Sanju Verma.
Okay. I just want to...
When in doubt, symbolism. Sanju Verma.
Okay. I just want to take off from where, that Priyanka Vadra's speech was showcased in the introduction by you, Padmaja. She says that Modi ji इसलिए, कास्ट नैरेटिव की बात करते हैं क्योंकि ना इन्होंने यहाँ पर लोगों को बिजली दी है, ना यहाँ पर सड़कें बनवाई हैं. तो प्रियंका वड्रा जी, यदि आप पद्मजा जोशी का शो देख रही हैं, तो लेट मी टेल यू दैट 227 kilometers of roads were built within villages under PM Gramin Sadak Yojana in Varanasi alone. PWD construction of 680 kilometers worth of roads is underway. And don't forget that Varanasi Ring Road Phase 1 was constructed at a cost of 759 crores. There has been electrification of 41,000 new households under the Saubhagya Bijli Yojana. I can go on and on, but let's be very clear. I have visited Varanasi/Kashi umpteen times. I remember 10 years back, Varanasi, let truth be told, was known for stinking ghats, electricity cables hanging out of nukkad shops and houses, and, filled and malba heaped right on streets and bylanes and lanes. And today, Varanasi can boast of world-class infrastructure. In Varanasi, in Mirzapur and Bhadohi, you have the world's biggest carpet weaving clusters. And don't forget that in the last 15 months alone, there have been 130 million people, 13 crore people who visited Varanasi and the Kashi Vishwanath Dham. So like Prime Minister says, Vikas bhi, Virasat bhi, Sanskriti bhi, Shiksha bhi. That is the Varanasi model of growth. And let me tell you, Lokesh, there was not even a single closed door toilet till about 10 years back. Today, 3.2 lakh toilets have been built for young women who had to go and defecate in the fields, thanks to Prime Minister Modi. So don't sit here and give bhashan about things that you have no idea about. इस बार प्रधानमंत्री 5.5-6 लाख वोटों की मार्जिन से जीतेंगे. He will break his own record. Get that loud and clear. लिख लो.
Okay, so then Varun Singh, what's the need of symbolism? Again, people will ask, then what is the need for having one Brahmin, one OBC, doing a roadshow, going to Ayodhya, going to Rishikesh, going to Kashi before the next phase of election? Every phase of polling, the Prime Minister in some temple city. Why? What is the need?
That's the change, I would say, in the Indian politics that has happened in the last few years. Earlier, I would always see that this is not the first time, and it is not going to be the last time when a prime minister or any political party or any politician is starting his or her campaign from a temple. I remember even Sonia Gandhi in 2009 or 2014 started from a Gujarat temple. So temples always have been a very integral part of elections. Just like Dargah or something else used to be, how iftar parties used to be. The only difference is now that we have a politician, we have a prime minister who doesn't shy away from, carrying his religion and following his religious rituals with such a, pride that was missing earlier. Earlier, there used to be so much of appeasement that people wouldn't want to talk about all this or wouldn't want to show it, fearing that the vote bank, other vote bank may get angry.
Resonance.
But there are 2 points that I've also
let's face it, people will ask if it's happening in the middle of elections, will it have electoral resonance?
Absolutely, it is. See, who are the voters of Bharatiya Janata Party? Who are the voters of Prime Minister Narendra Modi? They are obviously Hindus, and most of the Hindus, when they see that the Banaras, जहाँ की गलियों में चलना मुश्किल होता था, वहाँ पे आज चौड़ी सड़कें हैं, जहाँ की घाटों के पानी को आप नहीं छू सकते थे, वो बहुत सुंदर लगता है. जहाँ मैंने last time when I visited Banaras, there was a rickshaw puller who told me कि सर सबसे अच्छा काम एक चीज जो मोदी जी ने किया है, वो इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन जो अंडरग्राउंड कर दिया, क्योंकि पहले बंदर उसमें लटक के मर जाते थे, झुलस के मर जाते थे. इतनी छोटी छोटी चीजों के ऊपर दिया गया है importance. So probably Lokesh hasn't visited Kashi in for a very long time to understand what is the difference that has happened in Kashi. And that is one big thing what I'm trying to say, that being a Hindu was seen as a श्राप. अगर आप overtly Hindu हो तो एक श्राप होता था politics में, पर आज उस परिभाषा को बदल दिया गया है, and that is what is making Narendra Modi win, and he is not ashamed of being a Hindu. No one is ashamed of being a Hindu anymore. पहले हम छुपाते थे, हम इस तरीके की रक्षा बांध के स्कूल कॉलेज में नहीं जाते थे. आज कोई भी डर नहीं है, and to be honest, the BJP and Modi is to be given credit for it.
Okay, Tariq Khan, do you always feel that your party comes up against this barrier? Now you have an Akhilesh Yadav who, by the way, the big story is that tomorrow Akhilesh Yadav is going to be in the Ayodhya Lok Sabha constituency, Mr. Khan, but he is still not visiting the Ram temple. Why? Dimple Yadav said before the Pran Pratishtha that we will go if we are invited, we will go even if we are not invited. Now he's literally in this Lok Sabha seat tomorrow, but he's not going to come here. Why?
अखिलेश जी ऑलरेडी सेट कि जब बुलावा आएगा तो जाएंगे, और बुलावा बिल्कुल आएगा. बुलावा आएगा. वी ऑल हैव सम टाइप ऑफ इंटरनल कनेक्शन विद अवर गॉड और अल्लाह भगवान. सो दैट कनेक्शन, लेट्स हैपन दैट कनेक्शन. एंड जब वो कनेक्शन काम करेगा तो अखिलेश जी बिल्कुल जाएंगे. ही नेवर डिनाइड दैट ही विल नॉट गो टू द टेंपल. ही विल से कि जब बुलावा आएगा जाएंगे.
किसका बुलावा आएगा? कल वो यहाँ से 60 किलोमीटर दूर होंगे. किसके बुलावे का इंतजार है?
भगवान के बुलावे का. आप जानती हैं, आपका कुछ कनेक्शन है भगवान से. आप पूछ सकती हैं कब बुलाएंगे. यू हैव सम कनेक्शन. माइट बी योर चैनल है, और नविका मैम है. आस्क नविका मैम टू आस्क.
I do. I am already in Ayodhya. So I can say very confidently that मुझे तो आ गया बुलावा.
That is your spiritual.
ये पता कैसे चलेगा? ये बुलावा कैसे आएगा?
Their own spiritual connection with God. Let Akhilesh ji have that spiritual connection with God, and God will call him. God will call him. Why to worry? Why we are so worried about?
Ayodhya will come to him.
No,
he is in
never,
Ayodhya, but
never.
he will not come to the Ram temple. But then God will follow him.
बुलावा आया है means what? We must believe that दुनिया में जो कुछ भी होता है वो परमात्मा भगवान ही करते हैं. इसीलिए कहते हैं ना कि बुलावा आया है तो जाएंगे. हम भगवान के पास जाते हैं, भगवान हमारे पास नहीं आते. तो बुलावा जब
पता कैसे चलेगा कि बुलावा आ गया?
पता चलेगा, आप चले जाएंगे वहां, क्योंकि हम तो मानते हैं कि सृष्टि में जो कुछ भी हो रहा है भगवान ही कराते हैं. सिचुएशन ऐसी बन जाएगी कि आप वहां चले जाएंगे. शायद अभी सिचुएशन नहीं, लेकिन भगवान बुलाते हैं. इसीलिए कहते हैं चलो बुलावा आया है. कभी लोग हज पे जाते हैं, वहां से बुलावा आता है. लोग तीर्थ यात्रा पे जाते हैं, वहां से बुलावा आता है. ऐसे ही बुलावा आएगा. मैम वी आर वेटिंग फॉर दैट बुलावा. एक बात कहने दीजिए बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट, रुक जाइए. आपने कहा, बीजेपी ने कहा 4 जातियां हैं.
Okay, I don't envy your position, Neerja Chaudhary, for Tariq Khan to sit here and explain. But and does this best exemplify the kind of quandary that even now the issue of temples, whether it be in Varanasi, Mathura, Ayodhya, put the opposition into?
I think, as far as Akhilesh Yadav is concerned, he's gone to many, many temples on his tours, and people have commented on it. And बुलावा आएगा नहीं आएगा, people go to temples जब सुकून शांति आप आराम से कर सकते हैं, भगवान की पूजा कर सकते हैं. You may not want to go in the हड़बड़ of election. Why show to anybody कि मैं जा रहा हूँ? What do I prove out of it? There could be many reasons why he is not going on this trip to Ayodhya. But I want to make the point that earlier was picked up by you, that Dalits and OBCs have been left out, it is said. That's not true. Since the 90s, Dalits and OBCs have been an integral part of the Mandir movement. In fact, Valmiki is in a big way. And I remember joke hota tha 90s में कि मुलायम सिंह यादव जिन्होंने 1990 अक्टूबर नवंबर में कार सेवक्स को बाहर रखा था बाबरी मस्जिद के, उनकी फैमिली के औरतों ने भाजपा को वोट दिया था. That used to be the joke, that even the families had got divided. And Prime Minister, it's on, of course, he wants to be seen as the Rakshak of Hindus, that is Hindu Hriday Samrat. So certainly he uses the religion card. he also uses the caste card. Very recently, पिछले 1-2 दिन में मैंने पढ़ा, he called himself an EBC. We know that he is an OBC, but that he is an EBC was not confirmed. Extremely backward caste, which is a very large in number. So the Prime Minister has gone out of his way to win over the OBCs, EBCs, Dalits, Mahadalits, Pasmanda Muslims now. And right from his speech, you know, when he took over in 2014, he introduced the word poor. No BJP leader had talked about the poor, and he's changed it from a Baniya Brahmin party to a much more wider based party. Now we can have criticism that the polarization that's taking place, the divisiveness, the bitterness that is coming between the communities is not the way to go. Hindu resurgence, Hindu identity need not be, it can be unifying force, it can be a healing force. At least one would like that to come from Varanasi, where he filed his nomination today.
Okay, I will get Sanju Verma to respond to that, but I genuinely want to ask you, are you saying that from your travels, are you saying from your travels that it does not make the opposition uncomfortable whenever the issue specifically of Ram Mandir? Yes, Akhilesh Yadav may have visited a lot of temples. It makes it even more obvious then that he is trying to avoid the Ram temple. Is it not an uncomfortable political proposition for them? Neerja Chaudhary.
It could be uncomfortable. It could be that they have the minority vote in mind. कि इनको तो नहीं upset कर देगा. Minorities are a very important part of their vote base. Certainly of Akhilesh Yadav, Muslim Yadav, and this time he's making an interesting experiment of having given many tickets to the non-Yadav OBC. So let's see how that pans out. Yes, I would. It could be. I cannot say for certain, but it could be part of his calculation that I will go at a later date.
Okay, Sanju Verma, respond.
You know, Padmaja, let's be very clear. No matter how hard we try to deny, the fact is that the caste matrix has an integral role to play in Indian elections, particularly the 2024 elections, which are so polarized for various reasons and due to various stakeholders. You know, taking off from what Neerja Chaudhary said, obviously she knows this subject more thoroughly than any of us. I want to say this, you know, this entire narrative that the Prime Minister is engaging in majoritarian politics, the Prime Minister is trying to polarize the narrative with his caste equations. I think that is a whole lot of balderdash in more ways than one, because if I remember correctly, and I will stand corrected if I'm wrong, prior to Karnataka elections, the loudest noise about Lingayats versus Vokaligas versus Kurubas was made by the Congress. Prior to 2022 UP Assembly polls, they said, oh, Western UP to hamara hai, because here the Jats, Rajputs and Gujars are in dominance. Now the moment Jayant Chaudhary has joined hands with BJP, suddenly they say, अरे Western UP में राजपूतों का तो अभी वजूद नहीं रहा, Jats का वजूद नहीं रहा, Gujars का वजूद नहीं रहा. And let me also tell you one more thing. In Maharashtra, Padmaja was there in Mumbai a couple of days back. In Maharashtra, the only thing you will see the, Rahul Gandhi, Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray combined talking about is Maratha versus non-Maratha, Kundi versus non-Kundi. And they talk about Maratha versus non-Maratha only ahead of elections. Whereas remember, for the longest time, since Bombay presidency became Maharashtra, it is the Congress or its allies who have ruled Maharashtra. So if anyone is polarizing the narrative, it is the Congress party and its cabal.
All right, so caste polarization being practiced by everyone, or caste politics, call it what you will, or caste amalgamation, a cocktail that they are trying to build, that's on one side. That is traditional politics. But again, I would want to reiterate that the issue of temple towns, the issue, and remember, you see the Prime Minister in Ayodhya, Kashi, etc. But when you hear Yogi Adityanath, especially when he goes out campaigning, he is more direct. And he comes out and talks about Mathura, talks about how Mathura is the next project, and questions the opposition parties about their silence or their outright condemnation of the BJP every time they bring up this issue. Is this really not having any resonance politically? We'll find out on the 4th of June. Do watch my report tomorrow, because I will get you voices not just from Ayodhya, but people who come from across the country to Ayodhya about what this means to them politically. Thanks for watching.